Hi guys, so I'm super excited for today's video because I am finally going to be filming an updated bookshelf tour for you guys. A lot of the books on my shelf are unread books because if you guys watch my videos fairly often or you watch my book hauls, you know that I often talk about having store credit at my local used bookstores, and the way I get that store credit is if I read a book or a series and I think like, oh, that was pretty good, but I think somebody else might like it more, I'll just trade those books in for store credit and then get new stuff. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with a big overview of my shelf. Sorry about the gap right in there. I'm actually reading the book that normally goes there right now, but these are my bookshelves. They are kind of sort of in rainbow organization. Starting with the bottom left corner, I have some YA series. I have read the first Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. I've read the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. I have read Heartless, and I did spend the money to get that special edition. I don't know about you guys, I'm kind of annoyed that the spine is still black. I don't understand why that was the case. I feel like if you're gonna make a special cover, make the spine fancy too. I have not read pretty much all of the books on this shelf. I have read these first two over here, The Fallen Kingdoms and Gathering Darkness, which is part of the Fallen Kingdoms series by Morgan Rhodes. And I've actually read all the ones that are currently out, but I was converting them to hardcovers. So I actually have read a lot more in the series, but I don't have those. I've also read Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake, and if you guys watch Books and Looks, she was so nice. She had an arc of One Dark Throne, the sequel, and she sent it to me because we buddy read the first one together, and I was just a total, like, a-hole and didn't get around to it. Here is the next shelf. This is kind of like my black/colorful bookshelf. But a couple that are missing too. So there's the One Dark Throne arc. Red Rising should be right in here by Pierce Brown, and my father-in-law is, he's got it right now. And obviously I've read the second and the third one in that series. I love them. This over here is the Extravaganza series. I have read the first one, but it's missing because I sent it forever ago to Julia from That Bookie. But I've read that, and I've read this one, City of Stars. I recently just read it with Sylvia Kay, so I'll link her channel down below. She's super nice. But another book on the shelf I've read is Six of Crows. I have a bunch of Jim Butcher over here. I have read the first couple, but I haven't read the next ones, and they're great though. I absolutely love them. You can see right here, this is A Wise Man's Fears. I know a lot of people love Name of the Wind. I turned Name of the Wind in. I know, it's like an abomination, but I turned Name of the Wind in for store credit because I've seen some covers that I think are cooler. I have read The Giver. That is a fantastic book. And up here is a bookmark, sorry, that I got from Iceland when my husband and I went to Iceland. So we do have a little bit of a gap over here that we're working at filling in. Anyway, I've only read, this is embarrassing, I've only read Vicious in this shelf. On the next shelf, I have a gap right here because I am reading a book called Dividing Eden currently, and I forgot to put it back. I have read Roar, and then over here we have my favorite book of all time, The Hero of Ages. I just recently got this at my used bookstore, but the inside, this is great. This is great. Hold on, guys. Let me show you something. My husband's name is Sean, and on the inside it says, To Sean, which it would have been cool if that was actually Sanderson that wrote that, but it was apparently from this Sean's mother. But still, when I saw this, I was like, oh, I was just telling my husband that I want these covers, and so I grabbed it, I snatched it up very quickly, and then when I flipped it open and saw the To Sean part, I was like, ah, it's meant to be. This bookshelf is a huge embarrassment because I have only read the Bartimaeus trilogy, The Amulet of, however you say that, Smarkand or something like that, and then Skystone. Alright, this shelf isn't as embarrassing. I have read Long May She Reign by Rhiannon Thomas, and I have read, again, Bartimaeus trilogy, that is The Golem's Eye. I have read Burial Rites. I read it when I was in Iceland. It's about the last woman to be executed in Iceland. And I have read Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and then The Road to Vengeance, which I mentioned this series. This is called The Strongbow Saga by Judson Roberts. It's about Vikings, and it's super good. It's a YA series, and I really, really love it. I mentioned it in my top 5 favorite series, so that is one of them. I've only read Old Yeller, I think, on this shelf. Yeah. Alright, one more shelf of shame before I get into books I've actually read. I have read Red Queen and Glass Sword, but I haven't read King's Cage. But other than that, let's see, I read The Secret Garden when I was really young. If you ask me now what it was about, I would probably just say a garden. All right, finally, I'm super proud of this shelf. I love this shelf. These are my Polish Witcher books. I've read the Witcher books, but I mean, I can't read them in Polish. I just love the Polish covers. I have posted pictures of them. I've shown them in some videos, but they're super cool. Let's see if I can even get them out. Hold on. Look how cool those are. They are so, so cool. Here's my beautiful UK Brandon Sandersons. I have read Mistborn, the first era. I'm going to be reading second era here the next couple months. I've read Way of Kings, and then over here as we slide in, I'm currently working on Words of Radiance. I have part 1 out right now, so that's why there's a gap, but working my way through those. And I've read a lot of the books here. I've read the 3 books in the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy. I have read The Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, all by V.E. Schwab, and I have read all the Chronicles of Narnia books. Also, I'm curious if anybody is as ridiculously dumb as me, but does it bother you guys when, like, see how her name is down here and then on this one it's up here? Like, why would they do that now? The titles are offset. I don't know. Does that bug anybody else? Or is it just like, girl, get some perspective? That is not a big deal. Alright, the shame is totally returning on the shelf because out of all of these, I have read Artemis Fowl. I've read some of that book called Jesus Freaks, which is about people that have been killed throughout history because of their faith. And then over here, I just bought this. I didn't even know this was a thing. This was from my used bookstore. It's a new cover for Blood of Elves, and you guys know I'm a ridiculous fan of the Witcher series. Okay, over here, I've read Dragons of the Sea, which is part of that Strongbow saga about Vikings I was telling you guys about. Also, Ghost Wars is my husband. It's not my husband, it's his book, I mean. Anyway, over here, again, I can be a little bit more proud because I have read the Witcher books. I've read Tuesdays with Maury, which is wonderful. I have read His Majesty's Dragon, which is the first book, the Temeraire series. I have read A Walk to Remember, which is actually really good. I feel like the movie does not do it justice. I have read Number the Stars. First book in the Strongbow saga I have read. It's great. All his books are great. A Great and Terrible Beauty. I read a long time ago because my sister was a fan. I honestly have no idea what it's about. Getting into the top shelves now. Full Metal Alchemist, all my husband's. I have purchased Rurouni Kenshin. Haven't started the manga for it yet, but I love the anime and I love the movie Samurai X. That's like a prequel to it. It's great. Haven't read those, but I've read Far North when I was younger. It's quite a good book. And the Wayside School books. Have any of you read those? Because they are so bizarre, but I think they're super funny. And then A Little Something Different. Haven't read. And then now I'm just gonna skim the rest of them because they're primarily my husband's. I want you guys to see his comics. So he's got a lot of really great comics up here, and he's read the majority of them. So if you guys have questions, you can leave them in the comments section for him and I'll go tell him to answer them. Anyway, here's some more. I have read some of Fables and I love it. It's so good. And then I've read some of Lazarus. That's basically it though. This last shelf over here is all of Wheel of Time. We managed to fit all 14 books on one shelf. I have read the first 4, which is why you can see the spines are destroyed on those, and then all beautiful on the rest, so you can tell which ones I haven't read. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that you had to stare at my freakishly small hand so many times, like pointing at stuff. But anyway, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos, and check out some of my videos right over here. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.